as you have seen in the clip that I've just played, next, in around 2 weeks, we will start with one of the biggest, or it's actually the biggest hackathon that has ever taken place. We have more than $1 million in rewards for people that take on challenges. And we are going to have an opening event on 11th of November in Lisbon. And this will be the day where the hackathon starts. And then all the participants who want to contribute have more or less 1 month to create an application or front end or a blockchain or whatever comes to mind looking at the various challenges. Some of them will be more open and some of them will be more restricted. Today I'm going to explore a little bit about what is the Cosmos ecosystem and also explain a little bit about the challenges that were going to take place during the hackathon and that you can take in order to receive rewards or get started with your application. So during the hackathon, me and my team and a lot of other people will be there for you and provide support in case you have technical questions, in case you want to get to know the ecosystem. So who am I first to start with? My name is Tobias Schwarz. I work at Tendermint. I'm ecosystem development engineer. And my job is kind of to help people and projects get started with the Cosmos SDK, to build blockchains, to build front ends, to build apps, services on top of that. And we have a Discord server where we usually try to help you and support you in whatever problems you have. So my story is a little bit, I've got started around, when was that, 2013, so around 8 years ago in the blockchain scene. And I kind of fell in love with blockchain and fell into the rabbit hole directly and immediately and couldn't stop reading for months. And then the first altcoins were really popping up and changing a little bit of the core of Bitcoin. And this is where I saw a lot of different altcoins emerge in the kind of time span from 2013 to 2017, and it was booming. The scene of new blockchains was booming, but it was really hard. What people most of the time did was fork Bitcoin, change a little bit of the things, and then launch it. And there you have a new token, a new decentralized token. Hopefully decentralized, the more miners jumped in, the more decentralized it would get. And eventually we saw the kind of emergence of Ethereum. I guess most people here are aware what is Ethereum, written to write smart contracts on a blockchain. I've been in a couple of different blockchains involved, so maybe you've heard of blockchains such as Waves or Lisk, where I got to be kind of the first employee for them and help them build backend and frontend. And this is how I got kind of my experience with the whole process of building blockchain. And then around 1.5 years ago, I fell into the Cosmos rabbit hole. I knew about Cosmos from the beginning, but it was 1.5 years ago that I really had the time to dig into it. And I fell into another rabbit hole, which is kind of the Cosmos ecosystem. So what is Cosmos? Cosmos in the first place is a framework to build blockchains. And so I guess a couple of you are already familiar with the Cosmos SDK. It lives on GitHub. It's 100% open source. And it's there for people to, well, how do you work with Cosmos? There's a couple of different approaches. So first, people first cloned the GitHub repository, configured it there to their demands in order to create a new blockchain. Today we have a great tool which is called Starport that lets you do that more easy. And I will go into depth what Starport is in a minute. What is Cosmos? The Cosmos Hub, you've probably heard of the Cosmos Hub and the native currency of the Cosmos Hub, which is Atom, which is there to be in the center and the zone for interconnected blockchains. So I will go in depth in the next slide about this. Also, the Cosmos aims to be a world of interconnected blockchains. And in February this year, we had a revolutionary upgrade which brought to life the IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, and it was merged into the Cosmos Hub as the first station where it kind of belongs. And this protocol is there to have independent blockchains talk to each other and connect with each other. And this is the most unique approach that I've seen so far in the whole crypto ecosystem, to be honest, because I've seen many, many different blockchains living in their silos. I've seen many approaches how blockchains can exchange data, and nearly all of them were centralized and sitting behind either one company or one person that were managing this. And on Cosmos, we have a protocol that is native to the Cosmos ecosystem and is there to bring interconnected blockchains to the world. And it's coming native with the Cosmos SDK. So if you use the Cosmos SDK, you will directly have the IBC enabled. For other blockchains, we are still researching what's the best way to bring them into this ecosystem. So we are looking at integration for Ethereum, for Solana, for Polkadot, and for Bitcoin, for all the other various blockchains that are out there. We also want them to be connected to the IBC and to the inter-blockchain ecosystem that we are building. And hopefully this will be soon. Right now we are seeing a huge emergence of Cosmos blockchains, and you'll see this in the next slide as well. So Cosmos is not only a protocol, it's also a huge community that is growing every day. And I'm seeing this on Twitter, on Reddit, on all the social media. I'm seeing people coming and growing and talking about technical stuff. This is what I love and am interested in most, or people using all the different apps and services that are built in the ecosystem. But we are also seeing more and more blockchains in the process of being built, and more ideas being kicked around. What can you do with this whole technology stack? So currently we do have more than 250 services and apps built already with the Cosmos, and the Cosmos SDK as a blockchain framework is securing more than $100 billion worth of blockchains. And this is including Cosmos, or if you've probably heard of Terra or Band Protocol, or some other blockchains that are that have grown quite fast in the last months and years. So what you see here on the left side is a picture that I've taken not long ago from the website mapofzones.com. And this would show you the interconnectedness of the blockchain. So how interconnectedness works in the Cosmos SDK is via the IBC protocol. And on there you create channels to other blockchains, and these channels are public, and people can start exchanging data through the channels. And what you're seeing here is all the currently, the whole ecosystem kind of that has grown since February, since we enabled the IBC. So you see very popular blockchains on here, which are obviously Cosmos. You see Region, Terra, Sentinel, Akash. I could tell you a lot of things about all these different blockchains and what they are doing. We will cover a few of them because we're going through the HackAtom challenges a bit today. And we have some sponsors from those blockchains, and we'll talk a bit about what they are doing, what their goals is. Eventually, we are still at the topic, what is Cosmos? So Cosmos is there for people to build blockchains, to build sovereign blockchains that are independent in themselves. So if I would start a new Cosmos project, I could configure everything from the startup, actually, more or less. So as I've told you, I was already in the process of building blockchains for a couple of years. And the most challenging things that we had to solve first were, which cryptography are we going to choose? How are we solving the peer-to-peer problem? And what is the best way to let nodes interact with each other, find each other, and so forth? And these are problems that Cosmos has already solved for you. The Cosmos engine sits behind a protocol, a Byzantine fault-tolerant protocol. So we do have a set of validators that run each chain, and this is all in the Tendermint stack. So we actually have two stacks. One of them is Tendermint, which is kind of the backend, which solves all the complex stuff for you, like cryptography and peer-to-peer node gossiping and all these kind of things. And eventually, on top of that sits the Cosmos SDK, where you can jump in and directly start building your application logic in what we call a module. So this is why building blockchains on Cosmos is modular. People build their application in a module, and everyone in the world is incentivized to look at those modules that are being built from other people and maybe take them into their own blockchain. So you can study the code, it's all open source, you can run it on a testnet and see how does this module perform. Does it kind of fulfill my needs for my app, for my blockchain that I'm willing to build, and then integrate it into your project. And this is, I've heard a lot of times the quote, on Cosmos you build blockchains like Lego blocks, because you can stack those modules on top. Each of them is independent, but eventually lets you also, when you're writing your app, you can tell what these modules are supposed to do in your own module that you're developing for the Cosmos SDK. And today we will have more workshops that are showing you how to create these kind of modules. And I'll leave it at here. How these modules work and the whole Cosmos SDK. Eventually, you can then also define in a module how to connect with other of those blockchains. So IBC is eventually code. You're transferring packets from one blockchain to the other, and in your module you could define what the packets are supposed to do, how they are going to react with your application. But this lets everything be very flexible, and people are building these blockchains with different app ideas. So if I might tap a little bit into all the different blockchains, we have a lot of DEXs. So you've maybe heard of Swift Chain and Osmosis, which are the Gravity DEX on Cosmos, which are currently becoming the most innovative and biggest DEXs in different ecosystems. We have Region who work with CO2 credit carbon points, which are supposed to bring kind of a greener world to us, where it's incentivized to work with carbon credits. We have Sentinel, which is a decentralized DVPN. We have Terra, who offer all sort of kind of financial instruments, from being able to actually exchange stocks on a blockchain or stable coins. So we have a huge variety of different apps that are being built already on the Cosmos SDK, and but we want more. So this is why we are hosting the hackathon in 2 weeks, and incentivize people to build blockchains. And I can kind of guarantee you that the prize you would receive is only the first step when you're building a blockchain in Cosmos SDK, because there's a lot of hungry people in the world that are looking for new innovative ideas and what's happening with blockchains these days. So with the IBC protocol, it's all about exchanging data. It's currently what's being mostly used is exchanging tokens. And we are looking into how could we exchange NFTs, how can we exchange Oracle data. This is actually something Band protocol has taken over, and they are already exchanging Oracle data via IBC. So the kind of imagination of what can be exchanged from blockchain to blockchain is limitless. And yeah, this is a bigger overview. This is already, I think, a few months old, this overview, but I thought this was a great way from Coin98 Analytics to put it. On here, you see the whole Cosmos ecosystem a few months ago, so we have a couple of more applications and a couple of more services and blockchains already. But on here, you see it's huge, and it's growing on a daily basis. So from service providers that actually make it more useful in many ways, from blockchains that are bringing always new ideas from day to day. And at Tendermint, we are seeing a huge influx of ideas on our social communications, and we are having a hard time even getting back to them and being able to support all the different blockchains, because time is scarce. But we're trying our best to keep in communications with all the different projects, and also provide different documentation and tutorials for everyone to learn about the Cosmos SDK. And I think it bears fruit, and that you can see that the ecosystem is huge and keeps growing on a daily basis. And eventually, what will you build from decentralized financial applications, resilience, autonomous organizations, and there is so many different things that can be built on the Cosmos ecosystem. Let's have a closer look into the HackAtom challenges that we are actually going to ask for, and where the rewards are kind of behind in the upcoming hackathon. Maybe you've seen those those categories are already open in the blog post. And you see we have the Ethereum and Cosmos constellation price, which I will go a bit more into different challenges, but I want to give you quite of an overview of all the different categories and challenges that we're going to have, so you feel prepared. So today is our warm-up party, and hope you're getting warm up in what can you do and what can you build, how can you contribute to the HackAtom starting in 2 weeks. Ethereum on Cosmos is the first category, which means we are looking at Ethereum smart contracts a lot and think, wouldn't this make sense as a Cosmos module or as a Cosmos own sovereign blockchain? And we don't have enough time to tackle all the different projects and all the different ideas. So the idea behind this is we let you decide and look into all the different millions of smart contracts that have been written on Ethereum. And maybe you can come up with a way how to rebuild this as a Cosmos module. And this can be tricky sometimes, but sometimes Cosmos actually makes it more easy to do certain to solve certain problems, because you have the whole Go language as your tool set. You store things into the Cosmos database as it's given to you, but you can surely advance that as well and make up your own application. So we are really looking forward to all the ideas that are happening after this. So, for example, 2 ideas would be ERC20 or ERC721, 721, yeah. And ERC20 token. This is probably the most used smart contract in the Ethereum ecosystem. This lets you create a new token with a set of rules, and then you can start using that. And that's basically what the ERC20 provides as a protocol for you. And ERC721 is the typical NFT protocol. Most of the people have probably heard that. NFT stands for non-fungible token. That means it's very close to what the ERC20 provides. It lets you create new token, but those tokens are not divisible. So they are one token, and they are used a lot of in art, or so for unique galleries. Also, they could put each picture into an NFT and start tracking ownership, or also a marketplace in this kind of format. And I've actually had a colleague of mine who was just looking into a new tutorial that we're going to provide next week. And this is a token factory as a module. And he has written, you would see this on the right-hand side, and he has written about how to define denoms on a Cosmos chain. And this is actually kind of the describing block for what a denom should have. So a denom is a new token on a Cosmos blockchain. And then he would go a bit into the logic and validation of the new daemons, how they get created. But this is basically the data format of how a ERC20-like token could look like on a Cosmos module. And on the left-hand side, you'd see how this looks as ERC20 toad. You'd have a couple of functions that would define how your token interacts. So there are similarities, but there are also differences that you would need to look at if you look into trying to make something like ERC20 on a Cosmos chain. But don't be afraid. So if you want to check out the tutorial, next week it's going to be on docs.starport.com. And there we will provide a little bit of intro into this, and we'll have two new tutorials. One of them will also be about loans, so borrowing crypto tokens. And we are providing kind of the first set of rules, but it's no production chain that we are giving you yet. Because our goal is mainly teaching about how the Cosmos SDK works, and you could take it from there, add more validation, and add more logic to it, and make it your own project. So going back to the challenges, one challenge is also related to Starport. I will talk a bit more into detail in a bit. Starport is the tool that helps you build blockchains. So it's a command line interface that with one command kind of, instead of having to clone the Cosmos SDK or Gaia or any other project in order to get started, Starport is there for you to get started with a new blockchain with one command. So imagine Ruby on Rails or React or Vue or like all the different frameworks where you get started with a basic set of this is what you need to build your own front end, your own app or whatever. Starport is exactly that for Cosmos. So it lets you with one command create a new scaffold, a new blockchain, and you can take it from there and create and add your own business logic. Starport is also going to help you there, and I'm going to explain a bit more about this as well. The interoperability prize on the Hackathon will be there to make more connections and exchange more kind of data on the Cosmos in the Cosmos ecosystem. So the idea behind this is create new use cases with IBC. So we have a lot of different ideas right now, which are kind of interchain staking. You have your tokens on one blockchain, you stake them on the other, or we have all various kind of ideas what you can do with IBC and with interchain, inter-blockchain communication. But we want more. We want people to take on those ideas, and we want to put a reward behind this. This is what the Hackathon is for. But also any ideas you can think of. So we are always open for more ideas on what you can do with IBC. We want more end-user applications. We want it for new users that are coming into the ecospace to have it as simple as possible. So this challenge end-user apps with the Solar prize is targeted around this. So we want more and easier applications that help people build, let people access the blockchain actually, and not only access it in some way, but access it securely. So we are putting out challenges there for new front ends, but also for new ways how to store keys, how to interact with an application. So we've seen great advancement with Ledger, so with hardware wallets. But certainly we do need more work on the web for people. We have MetaMask, we have Kepler, so there's a couple of good applications that help with that, but we want more and we want them to be as sophisticated as possible. We will have DeFi challenges. So DeFi, everyone in the blockchain scene knows DeFi is a hot topic for a couple of years already now, and it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. And we are getting started in the Cosmos ecosystem as well with DeFi, but it's very much in the kind of beginning shoes. We are there since IBC started, and then we've seen kind of Civ Chain and Osmosis and the Gravity DEX come to life. So it's growing rapidly in those 3 months. No, it's more. It's like 5-6 months. So many things have already happened, and we want to accelerate it even more. So there will be a special category for DeFi, and any DeFi app that you can think of should be accepted and is welcome to see any advancement on that. And we will have gaming. Actually, I think Cosmos SDK is best suited for gaming. Because you build your own blockchain, you can define the fees, you can define the logic of validators, you can have it kind of semi-decentralized, centralized, or wholly decentralized. So you can configure your blockchain in a way that makes most sense for a game. And game do need strong requirements. So every game is different and has different goals. But I think in the Cosmos ecosystem, with defining your blockchain and the rules of your blockchain, it's the best solution right now for gaming. And actually, we'll have one talk about gaming and a workshop coming today from Harpreet, and who will enlighten you a little bit how you would approach that. We have a couple of different sponsors for different prices. So for the Constellation prize, we have Bitsong, who is one of our sponsors, who's looking for an NFT marketplace just like OpenSea. So if this is something you're familiar with and you're willing to tackle, take a look into the Bitsong challenge on Hackathon. And maybe you've heard of the project Evmos. Before it was called Ethermint. And what Ethermint does in the Cosmos ecosystem is they actually put the EVM, so the Ethereum virtual machine that sits on Ethereum to interpret all the contracts, make sure that they are aligned with security, but also that every transaction that happens on the Ethereum blockchain can be validated via this EVM. And Evmos has taken this EVM and put it into a Cosmos module. So now you can take this actually on your blockchain, on your Cosmos blockchain, and have the same logic that Ethereum provides. And what Evmos have said as a challenge is actually create smart contracts with Solidity, because that is what you can do with Evmos and with the module they have created. Is they want NFTs, they want wallets built on top of that. So everything that you can actually see in the Ethereum ecosystem, you could reproduce on Evmos with the EVM module. But if you're coming with a Solidity or Ethereum background, you could actually think about doing this yourself as well. So in blockchain, we incentivize building new blockchain, and you could build a new blockchain, take the EVM module into your blockchain, and voila, you have the whole kind of Ethereum, an Ethereum competitor. The only thing that's missing from there is community, and that's something to work on. But it's one of the things that always fascinates with me with the Cosmos SDK, that it's so open, so useful, and so modular. Kind of the imagination is limitless, and there are so many people providing help, so many people providing technical help, or projects that have already been delivered where you can get inspired from, where you can read the source code and just take their modules and build your own blockchain. So I've already touched a little bit what Starport does. Starport is there to help you build your own blockchain, but it goes further than just scaffolding. So where I find Starport as a user extremely useful is after scaffolding, I type Starport chain serve, and it runs my blockchain on my local machine together with a front end that's pre-compiled in there for you, together with the API, the RPC ports, everything open. So Starport is there to take you at the hand and help you building blockchains. And from there, Starport allows a lot of different scaffolding technologies. So you can scaffold new messages, new types. You can scaffold everything kind of that makes sense to integrate into your blockchain. So before in the Cosmos SDK, you had to touch a lot of files different on your own in order to create a new transaction type and create a new message on your blockchain. And Starport is there to help you. You can Starport scaffold a new message, define what parameters you have, and then you would look into the proto file and get started and define your business logic from there. So I think this is it has made the process extremely more convenient. Starport is also at the Hackathon to look for help. So Starport has set a couple of challenges. So if you're interested to help building on Starport, actually, so not build with Starport, so on Starport. That's where Starport has put a couple of challenges and is looking for you to help. So code scaffolding, as I said, is one of the features Starport provides, and they want to scaffold more. They want to know what else is useful for people to build, and so they're looking at the builders that are already using Starport or are interested in the concept to help with what else can be scaffolded, how do we get there quickest, how are we most helpful. Deploying local networks is something you'd have to do quite manually still, so this is something Starport also looks to provide. So if you're a DevOps, take a look into this challenge. How to deploy local networks with Starport is one of the challenges you can take on, or help with the whole process of building and configuration blockchains. Starport also wants to have plugins, so I can't describe too much about this because I don't know too much about it, but the idea is that it will get easier for especially front-end devs and developers to tap their logic into Starport. This is a quick reference from Starport. So on the right-hand side, you'd see all the various commands. What Starport is also building is an account manager. So it would help you manage your accounts. And eventually in 2022, with all the process that you've seen, Starport will help you also to start your blockchain. So Starport aims to have something called Starport Network, which is wholly there for people to actually go not from a testnet to a mainnet, because mainnet involves so many things. As I've mentioned, you need validators, for example, for your blockchain. You need to find them, you need to reach out, and so that your blockchain is at least a little bit decentralized. And Starport should be there to help you find validators, but also to bootstrap your blockchain, to put it on various servers at once, so it's always live and always available. And it will provide a lot of features in this direction, and so keep an eye and follow Starport HQ on Twitter for that, and visit docs.starport.com. You'll get insights into also all the tutorials that we provide right now, and next week this is going to accelerate as well. So on interoperability, we have the challenges, for example, from Akash. Maybe you've heard from Akash. Akash is a cloud framework on the blockchain. So it's a competitor to AWS or Microsoft Azure. Eventually, right now, they are still using a lot of that infrastructure as well. But Akash aims to be or is already a cloud on the blockchain. And the challenge for this hackathon is deploy blockchain nodes on the cloud. And this is, for me, a really interesting challenge, because sounds a little bit like Inception, where you have layer of layer of layer and go deeper. And on Akash, you can actually run other blockchain nodes. So you're running blockchain nodes on a blockchain. For me, it's a bit mind-blowing. I've seen it in action, so it works. And I think they want to improve this process. It's still a proof of concept, but I've seen it in the wild. And I think this is a very cool challenge, also a bit more DevOps into that direction, but it would be really cool to see more progress on this. Sentinel, the privacy project that's there to build DVPNs. So that's a VPN that you can register on a blockchain and use on a blockchain. And they are looking for a random generator function, but not only for Sentinel. So I'm sure they want to use this for kind of distributing IPs, and that you're getting a random and unique kind of IP when you're using the VPN. But they also want to provide this feature to the whole IBC world. So they want to have the go-to random generator function that everyone can use in the ecosystem for if it makes sense for gaming or for all various things that you can imagine. On SwiftChain is one of the DEXs in the ecosystem, and they also have a bridge to Ethereum. And what they are looking for in this hackathon is a created token listing protocol. So what they want is they are seeing an influx of different blockchains and different projects, it's already getting hard for them kind of to find a way how to list all them. So how to make sure a project that comes fresh can put themselves into a list and say, here I am with my new project, please get us listed. But probably also automate this. So this is one of the challenges, yeah, hopefully there will be found a great solution on the hackathon. Pylons is also an internal project. We work very closely with them at Tendermint, and they want to revolutionize the way NFTs are being traded in the future. They have a concept that is called cookbooks, where you can deploy certain set of rules, and then eventually you can deploy from NFTs or all sort of scarce items actually on that blockchain. And they are looking for an event ticketing system, which makes a lot of sense, kind of like NFTs that can be sold and then kind of verified via the blockchain directly. We also have a challenge from Agoric, which is a way how you can write smart contracts in JavaScript. So if you're a JavaScript developer and want to tap into writing smart contract, Solidity is already very similar, but Agoric actually is in JavaScript. So this will feel extremely native to you when you're coming with a JavaScript background. And they are looking for challenges like cross-chain liquidity mining. So this is, for example, if you on the DEXs on various ecosystem, you would receive something as a liquidity token when you provide a liquidity. So you're adding your tokens to a decentralized protocol, to a pool, and you get liquidity pool tokens in exchange. And they actually want to make it possible that you can have those tokens on another blockchain or get rewards on another blockchain based on how many tokens you own. And IBC is the perfect way to have these data exchanged. And I think that's a really interesting use case I'd love to see someone take on. And it's more generic. Agoric is looking for a set of smart contracts. So if you're just looking for writing new smart contracts with JavaScript, this is there for you. Yeah, and the next step is actually direct on spot with allow accepting osmosis LP points on a blockchain. On end user apps, and this is really the category to my heart, because I think this is actually blocking us from advancing extremely quick in the Cosmos ecosystem, because it's still very hard for people to access. And so the end user apps category, I hope a lot of people take this on and actually write good front-end application. And we do have a couple of sponsors on our side as well. So we have, for example, NIM, who are looking for cloud file storage written for NIM. So they are looking for a front end that provides this. And Injective Protocol is looking for trading interface for spot and perpetual markets. So this is a bit more complicated one, but we've seen a lot of great trading interfaces, and I think there can be some cool innovations coming out from there. We have also Litecoin and Archway as our sponsors, and Archway is looking for a base NFT marketplace. End user app, so this is all front-end related work, and Litecoin is looking for wallet interface to allow the ISCN records. So the DeFi challenge, I hope we have a lot of DeFi enthusiasts among us, but also later in the hackathon. So we do have a sponsor, for example, Kava. Maybe you've heard of that project. It's already for a couple of years in the Cosmos ecosystem. And they are looking for a fully autonomous options protocol as a Cosmos SDK module. So maybe you've seen something similar to this already on the Terra blockchain. So there's some way to get already inspired by that. And Kava is looking for someone who could implement that. And then we have also on the DeFi side from Tendermint, a base NFT marketplace on the Archway testnet, as you've seen in the previous slide. And the gaming challenge. So I'm really looking forward to a workshop today, because I hope that gaming will take on in the Cosmos ecosystem. So we have Pylons as a sponsor here as well. Pylons are are an NFT platform, and are looking for games that use Pylons. And so they have a couple of challenges set up in this way. So check out also the documents that we're going to provide right before the hackathon, which are going very much into detail of all the various challenges. And also the Secret Network as one of the sponsors for this. So maybe you've heard of the Secret Network. It's there for privacy, and they are all their kind of smart contracts they want them as privacy enabling as possible. So they actually want a game written with using Cosmwasm. I can say a word about Cosmwasm as well in a bit, and secret NFTs and on-chain randomness. So Cosmwasm is a project that most of people in the Cosmos ecosystem have already heard. It's so I've already explained how the EVM works and how the EVM with Evmos gets into the Cosmos ecosystem. But we also have a strong competitor with smart contracts to this, which is Cosmwasm. And they have brought a module which is called the WASM module, that stands for WebAssembly, and it allows you to write contracts in Rust, smart contracts in Rust, and put it on your blockchain. So we actually have two ways of how to put smart contracts onto Cosmos blockchains right now. One of them is with Evmos, with the EVM, and one of them is with Cosmwasm, being able to write smart contracts in Rust on a blockchain. And maybe a lot of people have heard of Solana in the recent times, and they've gotten a lot of good press and success with Rust smart contracts. So I think it might be one part of a way to go into the future, and let's see how this plays out. Lastly, we have the Earth Challenge. The idea behind the Earth Challenge is obviously Region Network is one of the sponsors for this, is how can we make the our current world greener as it is. And so Region Networks are working with carbon credits, and therefore the challenge is how to bring eco credits into the interchain ecosystem. They're looking into kind of green mining and being able to bring forward a greener Bitcoin with the technology. They're looking into greener ETFs, NFTs, I'm sorry. Also greener ETFs would also make sense though, so it's not bad that I've said that. So they want all the data to be able to be proven green, and that's I think a great way and a great project. And the Earth Challenge should support this and lets you work with Region and other technologies in order to bring a greener blockchain world and greener exchange of data into our world. So I think I'm running a bit out of time. So. We have a couple, IXO is also one of our sponsors, and please check out the challenges. They are all available. Also check out HackAtom.org, and there okay, I'm coming to the end of my slides. Anyway, so don't forget to check out HackAtom.org. This is where you find a list of all the challenges. Not yet, I think. I think currently you only see categories, but they'll be uploaded very soon, and then you can check out and prepare yourself for Lisbon. And we are hoping to see a lot of great ideas, a lot of great developments and new technology, and really looking forward to welcome everyone that's here or everyone who is also tuning in virtually, and hope that you can participate. Great, thank you. Any questions? Okay, I guess everything was clear. Else, for everyone who is physically here, feel free to join me later. We'll have a couple of drinks, and I'll be there for any questions that you have or just regular chat. So, yeah, great to have you here. Thanks.